Thanks for joining us for CMSportsNet's football wrap-up show. I'm Mike Preston, and with me is Pat Stoetzer. Today, we'll take a look back at the 2021 season for Carroll County's high school football teams. We'll discuss South Carroll's county championship season and run through the Class 2A, 1A playoffs with Coach Mike Kraus. We'll take a look back at the top game and top plays of the year. And we'll hear from two deserving athletes as we reveal our offensive and defensive player of the year. We've got a full show for you, so let's get right into it with a look back at the high school football season. Pat, how did it go for Carroll County's 7 football teams?
Thanks, Mike. 2021 will be remembered as the year of South Carroll, which won the regular season by going 9-0, won 3 playoff games to break the school record for wins in the season, and advanced to the Class 2A, 1A state final before falling to Dunbar 38-6 to finish 12-1. It was just the second time in school history that South Carroll reached the state championship game. The Cavs were one of 4 Carroll County teams to post a winning record, led by standout quarterback Ryan Bernard, speedy athlete A.J. Rodriguez, and hard-hitting linebacker Brandon Athey, to name a few. Bernard and Rodriguez were all Carroll County Athletic League first-team offensive picks, with Bernard as QB and kicker, along with lineman Sean Patrick and Ben Simmons. First-team defense honors went to Patrick and Jackson Moore on the line, Athey and Noah Strelzik at linebacker, and Logan Miller at defensive back. South Carroll's county title was its first since 2015. Westminster got off to a rough 0-4 start before a turnaround that ended in the Class 3A state quarterfinals. One of those losses was a forfeit win before the Owls rattled off 7 wins in a row, including playoff victories over Bel Air and Edgewood. Westminster quarterback Jack Grunzinger threw for more than a county best 2,100 yards, and receiver Mason Fisher totaled 17 touchdowns. Fisher and lineman Evan Robinson were first-team All-CCAL picks on offense, while lineman Frank Webb, linebacker Jack Sabo, and defensive back Kyrese Walker received first-team defense honors. Francis Scott Key also enjoyed success this season. The Eagles posted their first winning record since 2006 and won a playoff game for the first time in 17 years. FSK finished with a 7-4 record, and senior quarterback Jaron Rudder turned in a record-setting performance with 1,695 passing yards to go with 732 rushing yards and 11 touchdowns overall. Rudder and wide receiver Ryan Rill were first-team All-CCAL on offense, while Nick Deal landed on the defensive first team at defensive back. Manchester Valley put together a winning streak of their own in 2021. The Mavericks won 5 in a row before losing the Class 3A North second round. Running back Trent Onks led the team with more than 1,200 rushing yards, and backfield mate Justin Stobbs had 952 yards on the ground. The Mavs finished their in-county season with a 3-3 record and went 7-4 overall. First-team offensive picks went to Onks, lineman Matthew Rollman and William Sanat, and tight end Kevin Connor. Now, Connor was also on the CCAL first-team defense with fellow linebacker Matthew Sfiatko and lineman Markel Brown. Liberty posted a 3-3 record against Carroll County teams, and the Lions averaged 25 points per game this season. Liberty quarterback Jack Pelishati led the county with 23 touchdown passes, and receiver Sam Evans caught 42 passes for 803 yards and 10 touchdowns. Tommy Nelson, the Lions' standout running back, accounted for more than 1,300 yards on offense, and he scored 15 touchdowns. Nelson earned first-team all-conference honors on offense, as did Evans, while lineman Luke Collins and defensive back Dean Bohmeyer made first-team All-CCAL defense. Century struggled during the fall and finished the season at 1-8, 1-5 in Carroll County. The Knights posted their lone win in Week 3 with a 14-7 victory over Winters Mill. Eric Harrell led the way on the ground with 734 rushing yards, and Josh Ahulamibe averaged 19 yards per catch on offense. Harrell earned first-team All-CCAL honors on offense, as did lineman Kevin Calleas, and linebacker Austin Curlett earned first-team defense. Winters Mill dropped its first 6 games of the season before traveling to Springbrook and coming away with a 17-12 win. The Falcons ended their fall with a 1-9 record, 0-6 against Carroll County opponents. Brady Forte ran for 586 yards, while Sean Restivo, Nico Baez, and Will Litz were 3 of the county's leaders in tackles. Punter Braxton Cook was on the All-Carroll County Athletic League first-team defense.
Coming up next, we'll take a first look at the top plays of the Carroll County High School football season. We'll also have South Carroll coach Mike Kraus with us on set to talk about how the Cavaliers captured the Carroll County Athletic League championship in an undefeated regular season and then made a historic playoff run that took them all the way to the state championship game. And we will announce our offensive and defensive players of the year as well and talk to them. Welcome back. Throughout the course of our show, we're going to take a look back at the highlights from this football season. Let's start with the top plays of September.
It's time to take a look back at CMSportsNet's top Carroll County high school football plays for the month of September. But before we unveil the top 5, here are some plays we left on the sideline but certainly deserve another look. September 17th, Manchester Valley at Liberty. Mavericks quarterback Jake Boog finds receiver Trent Ongst over the middle, and Ongst uses his speed to elude Lions defenders for a long touchdown. September 10th, Linganore at Westminster. Owls receiver Kyrese Walker grabs a pass from quarterback Jack Grunzinger and finds his way down the near sideline for a 19-yard score. September 17th, Man Valley at Liberty. The Lions are met with a 1st and 22 situation when QB Jack Pellicciati goes to Drew Mooney, who dives to snag the touchdown between a pair of Mavericks defenders. And now it's time to count down the top 5 plays of the month. Number 5, September 24th, South Carroll at Manchester Valley. Cavaliers junior Nate Bohr picks off Mavericks QB Jake Boog and returns the ball 24 yards for a defensive touchdown in SC's 43-0 victory. Number 4, September 17th, Man Valley at Liberty. Lions running back Tommy Nelson takes a pass from Jack Pellicciati and makes a few Mavs defenders miss for a 35-yard touchdown. Number 3, September 3rd, Walkersville at Liberty. Pellicciati goes to receiver Sam Evans down the middle of the field for a 62-yard touchdown strike that gives the Lions their first points of the season. Number 2, September 24th, Century at Winters Mill. Knights running back Eric Harrell scores the game-winning touchdown early in the fourth quarter with a nice cutback against the Falcons defense. Number 1, September 17th, Westminster at South Carroll. Owls junior Mason Fisher gets the ball from Jack Grunzinger and uses his speed to find a crease in the Cavaliers' defense for a 77-yard touchdown. Joining us now is South Carroll High School football coach Mike Kraus, whose team went 12-1 overall and 6-0 in the Carroll County Athletic League this season. Coach, thanks for being with us today, and congratulations on a stellar 2021 season.
Thank you, Pat.
The program was 1-8 in 2019 and goes to set a school record for wins in a season this year with 12. Any one thing responsible in your eyes for the turnaround?
I would tell you that it probably was our senior leadership, the way that they held everybody accountable to get into the offseason and prepare for what was going to be what we thought was going to be a good season.
And it obviously turned out to one. You guys made it all the way to the Class 2A 1A state championship game at Navy Marine Corps Memorial Stadium in Annapolis. The game didn't turn out the way you guys wanted it to against Dunbar, but how would you describe the experience for you and your players, and what did you guys take away from it?
Well, I will tell you that the experience itself, just going to that facility, was memorable in itself. Coming out of the locker room and walking onto the field was just something that I don't think they'll ever forget.
Yeah.
The actual overall game in itself, I think the guys were ready. I just don't think we started the way that we wanted to.
Right. The fall was filled with a lot of memorable moments for South Carroll this season at Parker Field and Allen Road. Any of them stick out above the rest? I'm sure there were a bunch for you.
Yeah, I would say the first one probably was going back to Navy Memorial Stadium. Walking out of that locker room and seeing the fan support and the stands filled with the black and gold was just something that I'll never forget. It was kind of the same way back in 2005 when we went to Raven Stadium and it was the same support.
Right.
That will probably live long in the annals of my memory. I will tell you that the second thing probably was the first half defensive stand that we made against Western Tech.
Hartford Tech. Yep.
To get us to the point where we were on Saturday of 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
And then the Mazalewski catch that he got from Ryan Bernard.
On fourth down to
win the game, or to put us in the position to win the game.
Take the lead.
Those were probably the 3 memorable moments as the season goes on. Overall, I would tell you that our team just was memorable. The coaching staff, the administration, the support that we got. You can't account for that kind of stuff in the offseason, and it was great what we got this year.
Yeah, it sure was. You're a defensive-minded guy. You've been a defensive-minded coach a long time. Your unit put up only 8.3 points per game against Carroll teams this year, one of the best in the county. How pleased were you with that effort, not only against the county teams, but all year long, the defense where they played?
Well, that was a conglomeration of all of our defensive coaches. They had put in a lot of hard work and a lot of time in watching film and putting our players in position to be successful. I was very proud of the way that they would buy into the game plan. I had the confidence in the coaching staff, to put them in a position and do the things that we asked them to do. So I was real pleased.
South Carroll had 18 seniors on this team, but you should return 18 guys back from next year, 11 juniors and 7 sophomores. How excited are you for the future of Cavaliers football?
Well, I will tell you that the future still looks bright. We still have a lot of solid kids in our program. The quarterback situation looks pretty secure. We have A.J. Rodriguez returning, and I think that the leadership that those guys will provide will set the tone for the rest of the follow.
Thanks, Coach, and congratulations again on a great season.
Thank you, man. It was awesome.
Thanks, Coach. Now we're going to hear from a couple of Coach Kraus's top players. Pat recently went to Winfield to speak with CMSportsNet's Offensive and Defensive Players of the Year, South Carroll Ryan Bernard and Brandon Athey.
CMSportsNet's football offensive and defensive players of the year, both coming from South Carroll High School this year. The offensive player of the year is Ryan Bernard. Defensive player of the year is Brandon Athey. Brandon, we'll start with you. Just a little bit about just what the mission was on defense this year for you specifically, and just how you guys were able to execute it with as dominant as you guys have been all year.
I think the mission of our defense this year was just to make sure we had 11 hats on the ball, make sure we were getting where our guys were assigned to, and just making sure we got done what we had to get done.
You were sort of in the middle of that as the linebacker. In terms of like assignments that you need and sort of the job you have on the field out there, what's the one or two things you really take the most pride in terms of leading the defense on the field?
I'd say the most pride I take is probably whenever we make a turnover on the defense, bring the ball back to our offense, let those guys do their thing. And I'd say that probably my second favorite thing is whenever we make a huge play like a sack or something, pin them back deep, take the pride out of their team.
Most recently, you guys got to the state final by holding off Hartford Tech on another defensive stand like that. What was that feeling like as you guys got the ball back to the offense and then realized that time was ticking away and you were headed to the state championship game?
It was great. I mean, once I put it in their hands, I have faith in my guys on the offense to do their job. So I knew once my job was done, we were just coasting from there.
Ryan, I know you play on special teams as well, but we've seen you play quarterback all year long. Use your arm and your legs. How much of that was the stuff you learned from that little spring season we had, and when you were able to take the biggest step into this season? Was it the ground game you were most proud of, or the way you were able to deliver the ball around on offense to your receivers and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think I'm most proud of delivering it to my receivers. Last spring kind of was like a motivation type thing, trying to get used to varsity level. Coming from JV, I put in the work all summer long, and it showed out on the field this year.
You want to win every game, but was there a point during the season where you really thought, if we keep doing the right things here, we can go 9-0 and then go on into the playoffs? Was there a moment in the season where you thought this is really something special, we could be undefeated?
After that first game against Brunswick, I knew we had something special going on. So I try to push our guys, work harder every week, stay focused, and win every time.
More than 1,600 yards passing, more than about 500 yards rushing, and a lot of touchdowns, but also extra points and field goals. I know the kicking game is big with you as well. You work on that a lot. You take a lot of individual time to kind of sort of make that more of your well-rounded game.
Yeah, when we do special teams at practice, I step off to the side, work on punts, kicking like that. I develop more stuff as I keep practicing and stuff. It helps me in the game, so.
Yeah. Ryan Bernard and Brandon Athey, the Offensive Player of the Year and Defensive Player of the Year for CMSportsNet.
Both of those young men had a great year, and I have a feeling we'll be seeing more of them as we continue to bring you highlights from the season. When we come back, Pat's going to tell us about the county champions from all the other fall sports.
Hey there, I'm Pat Stoetzer.
And I'm Michael Duffy, inviting you to join us for The Score and more.
It's our new podcast, and each week we'll talk about high school sports in Carroll County. We'll share information about upcoming games, highlight coaches and athletes, and much more.
We'll even try to have a little fun along the way. Don't miss The Score and More podcast, presented by CMSportsNet.
The Score and More Sports podcast is available online at carrollmediacenter.org and on a variety of podcast channels.
back. I'm Mike Preston. As we continue to show you highlights from the 2021 Carroll County High School football season, here are the top plays of the month for October.
Let's take a look back at CMSportsNet's top Carroll County High School football plays for the month of October. But before we unveil the top 5, here are some plays we left on the sideline. October 30th, Francis got key at South Carroll. Cavs quarterback Ryan Bernard nearly gets intercepted by FSK's Ben Stevens, but the deflection falls into the hands of Logan Miller for a big first down. October 30th, FSK at South Carroll. Ryan Bernard breaks off a long run on third down and adds a leap over a defender to pick up extra yards and extend the drive. October 29th, Winters Mill at Westminster. The Falcons avoid being shut out thanks to Brady Forte's 62-yard touchdown run off the left side of the line. And now it's time to count down the top 5 plays of the month. Number 5, October 1st, Liberty at Winters Mill. Lions quarterback Jack Pelishotti corrals the low snap and finds receiver Sam Evans down the near sideline for an 88-yard touchdown strike.
Evans, and he will go all the way. Touchdown, Liberty.
Number 4, October 15th, Century at Westminster. Owls QB Jack Grunzinger connects with Mason Fisher along the far sideline for an 84-yard touchdown. Number 3, October 22nd, South Carroll at Century. The Knights have 4th and forever late in the first half when quarterback Tyler Flannery finds Casey Clark on a short pass. Clark does the rest and weaves through the Cavaliers' defense for a dazzling touchdown. Number 2, October 1st, Francis got key at Century. The Eagles use some trickery from their playbook. Receiver Ben Stevens gets the pitch from Justin Franks and passes to fellow receiver Jaden Heiser on a wide-open 70-yard touchdown late in the first half. Number 1, October 15th, Liberty at South Carroll. 1 minute to play, Lions lead by 1 point. South Carroll has the ball on 3rd and 10 when quarterback Ryan Bernard eludes pressure and finds Jackson Strelzik for a 59-yard touchdown that winds up being the game-winning score.
CMSportsNet covered Carroll County High School football and girls soccer this fall. Now Pat Stoetzer will tell us about how the other fall sports seasons went.
Thanks, Mike. Century won the boys soccer county championship, the Knights' first outright title since 2009. Century went on to take the Class 2A West Region 1 crown by holding off rival Liberty in 6 rounds of penalty kicks. The Knights finished with a record of 14-3-1. South Carroll reached the Class 1A state quarterfinals as well. In boys cross country, Liberty won the Carroll County Athletic League meet team title for the 6th year in a row before finishing 2nd at the Class 2A West meet and the 2A state meet at Hereford High School. Man Valley's Aiden Neal repeated as Carroll County champion and won a 3A East meet title the following week before taking 3rd at states. Liberty made it a county meet sweep by winning on the girls cross country side as well. The Lions took the title for the 3rd time in as many seasons, then won the 2A West meet title and placed 2nd at states. Man Valley's Ruby Guffney took home her 3rd career county title and had a top 20 finish at states. Field hockey was hotly contested this fall as usual, and Century celebrated its first county title in 7 years. The Knights went 10-5-1 and 5-1 in Carroll County play. Carroll had 4 teams reach the state semifinals in the postseason. Francis Scott Key and Liberty in Class 1A, Manchester Valley in Class 2A, and Westminster in Class 3A. The county couldn't get past that round, though, so no teams made it to Washington College for the annual state finals. Westminster won the Carroll County golf title once again this season. The Owls went 16-0-1 in regular season matches, and they took 2nd at the CCAL tournament to finish 1st under the county's point system. Owls senior Jennifer Sorkin also repeated as the individual Carroll County champ, while Liberty won the tournament team title after taking 6th in last season's event. Westminster also claimed volleyball county championship for the 5th straight season. The Owls ran their record to 15-0 before losing to Howard in the regional playoffs. Century and South Carroll each made a run to the state Final Four, with the Knights in Class 2A and the Cavaliers in Class 1A.
Thanks, Pat, and congratulations to all the county champions. Coming up after the break, We will see the top plays of November as well as highlights from the high school football game of the year in Carroll County.
What does it take to cover local high school sports? It takes staff and volunteers, equipment, training, and community support from people like you. You can help by making a donation to the Community Media Center today. Your gift is an investment in our community, our schools, and most of all, our student athletes. We want to expand our coverage to include both boys and girls sports, but we can't do it without your help. So please, make your donation today and help us bring high school sports to every screen in Carroll County.
Welcome back. We conclude our recap of the best moments from the season with highlights from the playoffs as we take a look at plays of the month for November.
It's time to take a look back at CMSportsNet's top Carroll County high school football plays for the month of November. But before we unveil the top 5, here are some plays we left on the sideline but certainly deserves another look. November 6th, Bel Air at Westminster. The Owls are in control from the start, but running back Matthew Heath gets in on the scoring with this 66-yard touchdown down the far sideline. November 5th, Winters Mill at Francis Scott Key. The Falcons fell short in their first-round regional playoff game against the Eagles, but they made a few plays like this 42-yard touchdown pass from Caleb Crouch to Camden Cook. November 12th, Boonesboro at South Carroll. Quarterback Ryan Barnard rips through the heart of the Warriors' defense for a 58-yard touchdown that caps the Cavaliers' 35-0 playoff win. And now it's time to count down the top 5 plays of the month. Number 5, November 6th, Bel Air at Westminster. Mason Fisher takes advantage of a tipped Bel Air pass and hauls in the interception near midfield, then uses his speed to do the rest for a pick-6 touchdown that delights the Owls fans. Number 4, November 5th, Winters Mill at Francis Scott Key. The Eagles displayed a dominant rushing attack in their playoff win over the Falcons, highlighted by this 83-yard touchdown run along the near sideline from Nick Deal in FSK's 34-12 victory. Number 3, November 19th, Williamsport at South Carroll. The Cavaliers are in control with 9.5 minutes remaining, but still have some time for some flashy plays. Ryan Barnard looks for Jackson Strelzik in the end zone, and the receiver keeps his eye and hands on the ball even after a Wildcats defender deflects the throw. Number 2, November 26th, Hartford Tech at South Carroll. It's late in the fourth quarter. The Cavaliers trail by 6 points, and they face a 4th down from the Cobras' 27-yard line. Quarterback Ryan Barnard sees Carter Mazalewski get behind Hartford Tech's defense and finds him for a touchdown pass to tie the score. Number 1, November 6th, Bel Air at Westminster. The Owls force a Bobcats punt during the second quarter, and Mason Fisher waits for the ball to land near the 40-yard line before picking it up. Fisher makes some moves and turns on the Jets for a defensive touchdown en route to Westminster's 44-7 victory.
This season was truly filled with great plays and great games. South Carroll was involved in some exciting contests this season, but none better than the one on Friday, October the 15th, when the Cavs hosted Liberty. It was a back-and-forth game filled with big plays that wasn't decided until the final minute. Let's take a look.
South Carroll hosted Liberty on October 15th at Parker Field in Winfield, where the Cavaliers looked to knock off their rival and run their record to 7-0. A.J. Rodriguez gets SC going early. After a long return on the opening kickoff, Rodriguez caps his team's first drive with this 1-yard touchdown. It's 7-0 for the home team. With 5 minutes to go in the first quarter, Cavs quarterback Ryan Barnard moves around in the pocket and waits for Nate Bohr to get open behind Liberty's defense. Bohr goes in for a 47-yard score, and South Carroll is up 14-0. Liberty breaks through 5 minutes before halftime on this 75-yard touchdown burst from standout running back Tommy Nelson, the first of his 2 scores on the night. South Carroll answers with a long run of its own, and Rodriguez shows off some skills to stretch out a 45-yard TD. The Cavaliers go for 2 and get it for a 22-7 lead. but the Lions scored just before the end of the third quarter. Quarterback Jack Pelishotti finds receiver Drew Mooney in space for a 62-yard touchdown pass. Liberty gets a 2-point play of its own and cuts the deficit to 22-15. Liberty's Max Garland comes up with a big sack on defense, and the Lions get the ball back with 3:34 to play. About 90 seconds later, on 3rd and 3, Nelson spies a gap and roars down the field for a 52-yard touchdown. The Lions trail by 1 point but go for the lead, and Pelishotti hits Sam Evans in the back of the end zone for the 2-point play. It's 23-22 Liberty with 1:55 remaining. Want a little more drama? South Carroll faces 3rd and 10 with 62 seconds left. Barnard feels the pressure and rolls to his right and waits for Jackson Strelzik to snag the pass. Strelzik weaves through Liberty's defense for a 59-yard touchdown. Liberty's final drive stalls inside South Carroll territory, and the Cavaliers hang on for the 28-23 win.
What a game. And what a season for Carroll County High School football. We're out of time. Thanks to our guests, South Carroll coach Mike Kraus, Offensive Player of the Year Ryan Bernard, and Defensive Player of the Year Brandon Athey. And thank you for watching. I'm Mike Preston with Pat Stoetzer. In case you missed it, you can also catch us hosting the CMSportsNet 2021 Soccer Wrap-Up Show. And remember, our winter high school sports coverage begins in mid-December. For more CMSportsNet coverage or to learn how to become a part of our team, visit carrollmediacenter.org. Good night, everybody.